Sometimes I feel happy,
sad, worried,
angry,
Excited! Disgusted. Frightened? Life is full of feelings, whether they're good ones or not so good ones. None of us can help having them. It's just how our brains are wired. In fact, experts say there's a good reason we have different feelings. They can help us get along with others, protect us from danger, or tell us when something's not right and needs to change. But sometimes our feelings can be more intense or harder to handle than usual, like when we get worried.
I worry about practically everything, every slightest thing.
Even like the smaller things at school also get me really worried and a bit nervous about even coming to school.
Or angry.
Sometimes I feel really annoyed at my brothers and sisters because I'm the middle child and I feel like I'm always a peacekeeper, and it just makes me really annoyed and angry because it just never stops.
Or sad.
My mum got diagnosed with breast cancer, and at that time I just remember feeling really sad and worried that she wasn't going to survive and that I didn't have my mum with me anymore.
I used to be constantly bullied over and over again. I never really told anyone about it. I just bottled the feelings up inside me.
Experts say if you ignore these feelings or let them take over, they can end up having a bad impact on your mental health. Mental health is the way you think or feel about yourself and what's going on around you. Just like your physical health, if you don't take good care of it, it can make everyday things harder and eventually could turn into a bigger problem. So how do you keep your mental health healthy?
Hi. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Kyra Lee is a child psychologist, and part of her job is talking to kids about just that.
Like these guys were telling me before about times when they felt really sad or worried or angry. So what is the best way to kind of deal with something like that?
Okay, so let's talk about worry. So there are some different things we want to do when we feel worried, and one of them is to try and think about exactly what it is that's making us worried. Something else you can do is to write down some calm thoughts, some "this is not the end of the world" thoughts. You also want to try and act in brave ways, because when you act in a way that's brave and you're not avoiding something, then that tells your brain, oh, maybe we can cope with this after all. A good thing to do when you're mad is to try and take a really deep breath and make your muscles as floppy as you can. Breathe in. Breathe out, slower and floppy. Another thing that you can do when you're mad is to try and get yourself away from the thing that's making you mad. But sometimes you can't, right? Like you're in the car or you're at the tea table or you're in the classroom and you can't walk away. So you're going to take 30 seconds to think about what you would spend $1,000 on, right? And if you take a little holiday in your brain, that can help you then think a bit more carefully. Talk a little bit about your sadness. You might like to paint or draw a picture or play music or write a letter. Something else that's really important to do when you're feeling sad is exercise. That actually helps your brain work better and it helps you feel better. So it's really important when you're sad is to kind of make yourself do stuff that's important to you.
Well, what makes me happy is playing the guitar and just reading.
When I'm worried, I like watching movies.
A good way that I use to make myself calm down is I draw. So instead of leaving the sadness and anger inside, I put it onto a piece of paper.
Overall, Kyra Lee says that communication is the most important part of dealing with worry, sadness or anger.
It's really important to try and tell somebody. Particularly an adult can be useful, but even if it's another friend.
And remember, you're never the only one feeling the way you do.